Hi, everybody. I've had requests for a quick tutorial on how to make palm crosses. Now, there is online a variety of examples out there on how to do that. I'm going to show you how I was taught. I was taught by Father Max Berry. He was a longtime rector in the Diocese of Oklahoma. He was my boss for a while and a friend, and he loved to make palm crosses, and he taught me how to do it. And so you have your palm, and they're often doubled like this. And so first thing you have to do is divide it, and do it slowly. You don't want to rip part of the palm that you don't want to rip. Now, palms dry out quickly, and so if you picked them up from the church today, you're probably still okay. But I know that even the top of mine right here, when they start to dry out, they start to curl, and when they're curled, they're harder to work with. So you have a palm frond, and we want to tear off the edges on both sides because they're hard and they don't do well. They don't bend well, and so normally you can just get it as close to that hard outer edge as you can. I could have gotten a little bit closer on this one, and just tear it down. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, trying to get as much. I'm actually going to start my tear on this one. If you can see how the palm starts slanting inward, I'm going to start my tear where it's the widest part right there. I'm just going to push my thumbnail through and start that edge right there. Then up here, I'll do the best you can. They don't always cooperate. You get lots of little bits and pieces here and there. Well, we're going to go with that. Best I could do. Still have a pointy end. Sometimes it is easier to cut that off. I'm going to try leaving that on there for a minute, and I'll trim it in a little bit. And so what we're going to do is we're going to find a nice place where it's, the thickest for the longest, the space. I'm not going to mess with this end down here at this point. And so I'm going to come down. We'll end up trimming it. Find a good spot. However many 10 inches or so is what I'm doing here, but I'm going to end up trimming it probably anyway. I'm going to bend it forward towards me, and I'm going to take it to the right. So I've just made a right angle, pulled it towards me, and took it to the right. Now I'm going to push it away from me, and I'm going to have it come out the other side. So I'm going to push it away from me. I'm going to hold on to that like that. And so all I've done is just wrap it back away from me. Okay. And then we're going to do it one more time. We're going to wrap it back in front, still holding on to it, because if you let go, it's just going to spring forth. Now, I'm going to take this other end. Like I say, I haven't trimmed it. And I'm going to bring it towards me, and I'm going to slide it down into itself. See it coming out the other side right there? I'm still holding on. You got to pinch or it'll just go everywhere. And then you're going to pull it. Still kind of holding it, pulling. Don't pull too hard. You got to learn a little finesse. Now, if you've done this correctly, it will actually stay by itself. And it's back to the right, okay? for me right there. Now, I'm going to pinch it a little bit on the knot right there. I'm going to take this right side and I'm going to bring it towards me, and I'm going to slide it back through the knot. You cannot do it the other direction, so you'll know if you're doing it wrong. Back towards yourself, slide it through. Looks like that. Then you're going to spin it and slide it back through on itself again. And it stays like that. Once you've done that, and again, how far you start down, how much space you give, kind of really sets how long the cross beams are. Then you take the bottom and you bring it towards yourself and you feed it back through again, through the center of the knot. Good to have scissors handy if you need to trim that off. And you pull it up, and then you can turn it over. And then, so then you have your cross. Now, you could leave it hanging, and so it still resembles part of the palm frond, or you can trim it off. I'm going to trim mine off somewhere in there. So that's how you make a palm cross. Now, like I say, there's lots of ways you can do it online. You can go and Google that. There's some that cross over in the way that they slide together. Like I say, there's all kinds of ways, but that's how I make them, because that's the way Max Berry, one of my mentors, taught me how, and I always think about him on Palm Sunday when I help share his method of palm cross making with other people. So hope you can join us tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for our Palm Sunday worship. We will be here on Facebook, and you can get a bulletin to follow along with us at stpaulssparks.org. There is an online worship button there. You can click on that. It will give you some instructions, and you can actually pull up the worship bulletin, print it if you'd like, or if you have another device, you can read along with the bulletin while you watch us on Facebook. So palm crosses, doing it this way, you can just pause and do it over and over again for those of you who need a little extra help. So thank you for joining me, and we will see you all tomorrow.